So I think on the internet right now, there's kind of this growing mentality that the Switch really isn't powerful enough to run most modern games. You know, everyone's kind of hoping for that Switch 2. They're hoping for the upgrade because the Switch 1, I mean, it's an Android tablet. When you really think about it, it's an Android tablet. But something that always fascinates me is that for some reason, this generation, I don't know what came over developers. I don't know if it was just the install base or the money talking, but so many devs just put the wildest stuff they possibly could on Switch, porting games all the way from the 9th generation over to this something with the power of like the 7th. And I think it's fascinating. So today, I'm gonna discuss games where I just have to ask the question, how the hell does this run on Switch? And I think we gotta start off with what felt like it felt like they threw down the gauntlet with this game and said, hey, yeah, we can do this on the Switch. No one has an excuse anymore, and that's Doom. I never thought that Doom 2016, a game where you literally delve into hell and kill demons with like blood and gore and shit, and the Mario console. But for some reason, Bethesda was just like, sure, fuck it, let's do it. And now every mainline Doom game is on Switch, including the new ones. And the thing that surprised me the most is that this version runs great. I mean, as great as it can, considering the fact that it's only 30 FPS, and I don't know about you, but I just got done playing Metroid Prime Remastered, and looking at a game like that that's like totally clear and runs perfectly did kind of spoil me a little. But I cannot deny, Doom is mad impressive for what they were able to achieve. And I don't know, it just felt like the industry was being told, hey, this is a viable platform for games, so go crazy, go nuts, and let's see what happens. And on that note, we got Witcher 3. Dude, I don't even know what sick black magic they got to get Witcher 3 running on the Switch, but the crazy part is that it worked. But here's the thing. I went back to it recently after playing it on a bunch of other systems, like my MacBook, my PS5, like Steam Deck. And I gotta be honest, the Switch version now, I was getting footage and it does not hold up at all. I don't know what was going on, but like buildings were disappearing, the frame rate was single digits, it was awful. And I feel bad because it's such a technical achievement. They were able to get Witcher 3, this massive open world RPG, on the Switch. But oh my god, for some of these compromises, dude, I don't think it was worth it. It's like, Doom might have been the worst version to play that game, but it wasn't a bad version. I would argue Witcher 3 is a bad version of that game to play. I don't think you're getting the full experience if you're playing Witcher 3 on Switch. Or the Switcher, as people called it. But what I will say is at least that game is good. Unlike this other open world RPG, The Outer Worlds, which I would argue it's a victim of two things. Bad optimization and just an overall bad Switch port, and just the fact that the game isn't that good. It's just like shitty Fallout or worse Cyberpunk to me, I don't know. And it's got all those like weird Bethesda-y traits, even though it's not a Bethesda game. And not to mention, it looks awful on Switch. It looks like Pablo Picasso if he had cataracts. I don't know what was going on. I don't know how they greenlit it, but it feels and looks horrible. And I got 10 hours in it, okay? I actually put a lot of effort into trying to have some fun with that game, and it was just not happening, dude. I remember at some point just being like, what am I doing playing this game that I'm not enjoying that much? And I just put it down. But you know what has a surprisingly good Switch port? Mortal Kombat 11. This is, I mean, back on the Doom thing, an uber violent game that you would never expect on a Nintendo console got ported over to a Nintendo console, and you know what? For as much shit as people gave this at the time, I'm gonna rebuke that for a second, because I honestly think this version is pretty good for what it is. I mean, does it run at 60 FPS? Yes, actually it does. That's kind of incredible. I don't know how they did it, but it runs at full 60 in the fighting game, and only that, which is good because that's the main part, but dear god, do not go to the crypt. I don't know what N64 ass graphics they were cooking there, but it is not good. Where's the moon? Where's the stars? Where did everything go? Why is all I can see is gray, dude? What's going on? But Mortal Kombat 11 at least still feels like Mortal Kombat. Like, you're getting a decent fighting game out of it. And it doesn't look horrible, I'd say. I honestly think I prefer the aesthetic of the Switch version of Mortal Kombat 11 to something like MK9 or even MKX if I'm being honest, just because I don't really like the way those textures look in the game, but I gotta hand it to them that they got it to 60 FPS. Like, that is an achievement. And it's still fun, you know? Not to mention you've got the little Joy-Con so you could pop one out and give one to your friend. Honestly, I think that port gets too much hate. Now, the Mortal Kombat 1 port...
Oh my god! What's wrong with your face?
That one probably deserves all the hate. That one is very bad. I cannot believe Nintendo bought the studio that made that. That's crazy to me. That what sick monster had the idea of porting a next-gen game over to the Switch. Put a little pin in that. That's gonna be important. That's gonna come up later. Shh. But moving on to another game I just thought was really impressive. Sonic Frontiers. I mean, I don't know why they chose to put this game on Switch. I remember seeing the initial reveals and I was like, yeah, there's no way that's coming to Switch. It's an open world, super fast-paced game. Why the hell would they put that on Switch? Are they crazy? And then they did, and I felt like a complete moron. Because yeah, a lot of their install base is on the Switch, but like, dude, why would you put this massive, ambitious game on this tablet? And the crazier part is that it's pretty good for what it is. I mean, it's a portable version of Sonic Frontiers running on the Switch, and it looks really good on the OLED screen. It's pretty fun. It's also the only good 3D Sonic game on Switch right now. Sorry, Colors fans, but I don't like you. We can't be friends because that game is ass. But now I want to talk about some other games that are actually outside of my wheelhouse. Like, the other games I mentioned are pretty like 3D platformer, open world game, shooter. Like, that's kind of in my wheelhouse. But you know what isn't? Weeb shit. Okay, it looks a little cringe to me, and that little part of my brain that didn't develop from high school is like,
ew, gross, I hate it.
But I decided to venture out of it, and I played Nier Automata and Crisis Core. And I gotta be honest, these games look and feel incredible on Switch. I mean, I get Crisis Core is technically a PSP game, but it got remastered in the FF7 engine, and it looks great. It looks like FF7 Remake on the Switch, which is crazy to me. I've always wanted something like that. I've always wanted a modern Final Fantasy because I've never really played a Final Fantasy. And yet, for some reason, I loved beating that game. I thought it was great. To be fair, I did enjoy playing it on mute a couple of times because, oh my god, I don't like anything Zach says at all. Please shut him up. Put duct tape over his mouth. Shoot him. I don't care. I hate him. But I found myself having a great time because the gameplay is smooth. The graphics are pretty decent in my opinion. It looks great on the Switch OLED. And a lot of that can also be applied to Nier Automata, except Nier has these massive open worlds. It honestly feels like it shouldn't even... Like, it doesn't feel like a game that came out on PS4 then Switch. It feels like a game that was native to Switch. That then they were like, oh, we could put this on PS4. Honestly, 10 out of 5 ports. Both of those, absolute recommends. And that's coming from me. All I do is play Mario games for a living, okay? And I enjoyed the fucking sword slashy, shooty. That's a horrible way of describing them. Please, for the love of God, Nier and Final Fantasy fans, don't kill me for that. But finally, I want to talk about one last game that I think encapsulates all of what I've been talking about really well. And I feel bad about talking about it because when I bought this game, it felt like I made a deal with the devil. I'm not gonna lie. But Hogwarts Legacy on Switch is a goddamn miracle, and I don't know how they pulled it off. This game was designed for next-gen platforms, PS5 and Series X, and they managed to cheese grate the fuck out of it and stick it on the Switch. And honestly, if you'd shown it to like your average Joe Schmo, they're probably gonna be like, this is ugly as fuck, runs like ass, and doesn't feel good. But if you showed someone like me, I was wowed. I was genuinely amazed. I couldn't believe that they got all of Hogwarts, this massive castle, and all of Hogsmeade, and like all the surrounding area, fitting on this Switch, this tiny ass thing. Not to mention the cutscenes, the animations, the motion capture, are all directly from the next gen versions, and you can feel that budget watching just like millions of dollars on your screen in terms of animation technology and environmental design just completely massacred on Switch. I don't know, it's just, it itches a certain weird part of my brain that I can't help but respect. And honestly, if you can find it pre-owned at a store near you, or if you have a hacked Switch, I would recommend you give it a try just to see the sheer insanity, the cojones on these developers for putting this massive title on the Switch. And anyway, that's been it. I just wanted to talk about my favorite Switch ports. I've actually been kind of prepping this video for a while. I don't know if you can tell, but it was a decent amount of random ass games I had to play. And these are obviously just some of my picks. There are a whole host of others. There's some I didn't want to talk about, like I was gonna mention Lego Star Wars and Apex Legends. And like, maybe I'll do a part 2. But I really want to talk about the ports that are actually bad. So stay tuned for that video. Stay tuned, do one of those things. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you around. Bye.